Welcome to Disability Book Week Superstar Authors. I am your host, Kelly M. Lipes. Let's set the scene. I am here in my aunt's favorite gray sweater. I have my absolute favorite dress on. I call it my hippie dress because it's got all sorts of really weird colors and shapes. We are sitting in front of a bookshelf of my favorite books. I've got my little green fire engine over there, and I got my dragon and my bumblebee. And we are here with superstar author Brianne Ritchie Córdova, and she is wearing a navy and gray shirt. She's got glasses on, beautiful long hair, beautiful smile. It is super sunny wherever she's at because there is so much sunlight coming through. I think we're just going to have a very amazing interview. So, Brianne, welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
All right, tell me a little bit about yourself.
So, as you know, I'm Brianne. I'm a native Michigander. I grew up there and then moved out to the Western United States for college, and we're still here now. That's why it's so sunny. We're like desert area. um, let's see. I graduated from college with a degree in neuroscience.
Ooh,
And I worked with autistic kids for a few years, which was really awesome. I love that. And now I'm an author and a stay-at-home mom for my own two little kids. So it's really great. I love it.
awesome. All right, well, tell me a little bit about your book.
It's called Cream and Punishment because I love plays on words, and it's a rom-com. It's about an ADHD baker who moved next door to the man whose life she ruined. So she believes she's getting her just desserts. But, the rom-com, is that really gonna be what happens,
Awesome. All right, so now you got to tell me, how do you, I always love people that write, I write children's books. So, I got 500 words. That's the length of my stories. How do you go from an idea in your head to holding a novel in your hands? What is your writing process?
It's a great question, and I feel like it's a little bit different for every book. The first book that I had published, which is this one, it was actually like the seventh one I've written or like made from like completed a draft form, I guess. um, and each time I think I refined my process a little bit better with like figuring out what works for me because I also have ADHD. I wrote a lot of my experience into this character. um, And so it kind of started the specific book started with creating the character first and kind of just like falling in love with her because she was like a side character in a different book that I was working on. I was like, she didn't her own story. I loved her too much. And so that's what I did. And it was originally going to be very, very different from the finished version. So I, this one's a strange one because I rewrote about 80% of it during the developmental edits process within like 5 weeks. It was insane. I believe I was like possessed with like a ghost of a writer from like years ago or whatever. And like I remember it, but at the same time, it was like this fog. And well, I know I did it, but also how did I do that? Because I've never been able to replicate that.
I love that. Well, what advice would you give to somebody who maybe has several novels written? I mean, what is your advice about helping or somebody going about writing or getting published? What advice do you have for them?
I would say the top two would be find what works for you because there's tons of writing advice out there and it's great, but it's not for everyone. No, each piece of advice is not for each person. And second, I would say just keep going. Don't give up. 'Cause, I mean, writing an entire book, that's a lot. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of energy, a lot of redoing things and rereading the same words over and over until you want to like pull your hair out. I see how I know. Mm, but just like keep going. And after you've written the first one, like celebrate. Definitely celebrate, but also keep going. Because I feel like if you're putting all your eggs in one basket, so like this one book that you finished, it's amazing. How many people can honestly say they've written an entire book? Like very few, a very small percentage. And you should absolutely celebrate that. But also, if you have more stories inside you, keep going. Don't put all your eggs in that one book basket. I guess. Honestly, like maybe you'll find out like the seventh one you write is the one that you love the most and that ends up getting published first, or maybe you do publish the very first thing you've written. I mean, everyone's path is different. And remembering that is sometimes hard when you see what works for other people when you know it doesn't work for you.
Exactly. That makes perfect sense. Thank you. All right. It is my favorite part of the interview. Will you please share a portion or a part of your book with us?
I would love to hear. This is my favorite sticky code, my data. And from chapter 3, um, just jump right in. I feel like it's gonna go for it. I, I screamed, a blood curdling from the belly, terror-filled scream that would have made a banshee blush. I leaped away from the snake like an inebriated ballerina and ran for the living room. A snake in my apartment. I couldn't believe I guessed Max's revenge plan right. I shuddered, frantically moving picture frames off the couch for me to climb onto it without breaking the glass. The snake was probably hunting me right now. Snakes could smell fear, right? If so, I was a mountain of fresh bacon to its snaky little nose. A weapon. I needed a weapon to defend myself. But what did you use against a snake? It wasn't like I could just. It wasn't like I just had a pet mongoose lying around. Note this help. Invested a pet mongoose. So what then? A shovel? Didn't have one of those either. I had plenty of kitchen knives, but there was no way in clamshells I was going to get close enough to the snake to use those. Where was a good old-fashioned spear when you needed one? Pounding on my door made my skeleton jump out of its fleshy prison. Where could I rope that? Dekker? Max's voice came from the other side, slightly muffled and definitely alarmed. Are you okay? My soul nearly followed my skeleton, making a bid for freedom. Speak of the revenge-getting devil. If this wasn't what I deserved, I'd be much more upset with him. If he got the snake in here, he could get it back out. I didn't care what I'd have to do to convince him I'd suffered enough so he would. Maybe I'd have to settle my soul. Whatever it was, I'd do it. He needs soul these days anyway. I leaped off the couch, basically doing high knees in an attempt to keep one foot from touching the ground too long. If the snake wanted to bite my legs, I wasn't going to make it easier for it. It may smell like cooked bacon, but it would find that this little thiggy was still keeping him squealing. Your minutes the door open, yanking him inside by his arm. Get in, creep! He lurched in the sudden movement, scrambling as I dragged him across the threshold. What's going on? Now that he was safely inside, my courage abandoned me faster than I ghosted fitness pyramid schemers on Facebook. I squealed suspiciously like the scared little piggy I was and scrambled back onto the couch. I scanned the floor, tugging nervously on my oversized pajama shirt. Snakes couldn't climb onto couches, right? Please don't let snakes be able to climb on couches. Max watched me curiously, evidently unafraid of his scaly accomplice. Are you okay? No, I moaned, switching from my shirt to my hair for my next victim. Get it out, please get it out, whatever it takes. I am begging you. I know I had it coming, but I'm a different person than I was a year ago. Whoa. Slow down. He pulled up that hand like I was a spooked horse. And no, I won't comment on the accuracy of that. What are you talking about? Get what out? As if he didn't know. Well played, buddy. Leave it to the Fed to know better than to incriminate himself. I pulled my curls straight in agitation, tugging on my scalp. The snake! I saw it in my room with the evil little eyes and it runs my blood. I'm not that young anymore, but I'm still too young to die. I saw it that he likes to made a governor and been your best red party, and I want to see a movie at the Redbird and try whatever tasty is that all the Michiganders talk about and see Mackinac Island and hold up. He flashed a smile, eyes twinkling. Of course he was enjoying this. My confidence finally delivered. You found a snake in your room? Yes! Was he not listening? I mean, sure, I was rambling, but still, he already knew there was a snake in here. It was big and broad, and I was hiding under my dress to eat me. Where are you laughing? I could have died. You're right, of course. He struggled to control his smile, forcing his lips tightly into a line. He wanted revenge, but surely he didn't want me to die, right? Sorry, can you show me where the snake was? Not on your life, buddy. I folded my arm, my legs quaking beneath my pajama shorts. I'm not going anywhere near it for all the money in the world. In fact, I did move again, to the North Pole or Antarctica or somewhere that didn't have any snakes. Sure, those places had a demand for bakers. It's offered out as an adequate amount, but
I absolutely love that. That is just brilliantly written. Thank you so much for sharing that. That is awesome. All right. I just want to say, first of all, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Do you have any final words you'd like to leave us with?
um, just that I really appreciate you having me and all that you do to showcase books that characters who have disabilities and how I was able to write my own experience into it. And the fact that you're providing a platform to help spread the word is amazing. And I just really appreciate all you do.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.